Hello,
What's
hello.
up? Evening. What's up, guys?
Welcome in.
Welcome in. We're gonna let some people kind of hop on before we get started with everything. But yeah, how you guys doing? We got Scott, Thomas, and John joining us tonight to talk
up,
about
guys?
the Kobe. So it's gonna be a good night.
How's everybody doing?
And it's been a great week so far.
I'm ready for the weekend. Are you guys planning on pre-fishing for the Rodman event?
No, we're just gonna wing it like every tournament this year. I've fished 5 tournaments in 6 weeks. I've cashed checks in 3, and all 3 of the ones where I cashed checks, no pre-fish. So that's what
Fair
we're
enough.
doing.
Fair enough. Hey, you got to stick with your gut there. Yeah, that's a good plan there. But
Most of the tournaments that I do halfway decent in, that's the way I fish. Going in, never,
You overthink stuff too much. Just go back to what you know. Go back to that's what I've been trying to do. And I figure if it worked for the Hobie 2 weeks ago, it's going to work the rest of the month, the rest of the year out. So
yeah, you guys did. You did good. Yeah, you did real well. I was watching the leaderboard. You were kind of in the middle of the pack for most of or top of the pack for most of the event for both days. So yeah, we had Lloyd. He was out there up at in first place for like both mornings, and then it was kind of hard for him to catch another one a little bit later on. But yeah,
my dog is like. You fish, Thomas?
I was up on Griffin.
Ooh, I like that lake. Was Lloyd? Where was he? Do you guys know where he was at? I'm not going to say his spot.
I have no idea where he was at. I knew where all my teammates were at.
I think he posted a video. Not too long ago about talking about it, but I think it was Tiger, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that was KBF. You think about KBF?
That was KBF. Okay, yeah. That was the event. I don't know where. I don't think he posted a video about for the Harris chain. So yeah, okay. John, you been fishing at the Rock lately?
No, I ain't been there. It's been a little while since I've been. Last time I was there, though, I didn't do too bad. I think I had 93 and a half or something.
Doug Wilson has been killing it out there. I don't know what or how. I know what he's doing. He fishes very methodically and slow, and it works, man. I think he got 108 inches on Monday, just over 108 inches in one day out there.
When I first met Doug, the only thing that he could really do was flip and punch. Now, I mean, the man is killing it on a shaky head. He's killing it on a chatterbait. I mean, he's just he's learning. He's
deadly.
Yeah, he really is.
He is an individual. He's very, very, very good guy. He's very deadly out there for sure. That's not just at Tenor Rock, but anywhere he goes and fishes, that he can fish. So yeah, I saw his post, and I was just like, because I've went out there a couple times and fished just because it was close, and I don't have my vehicle to trailer my kayak anymore. So I went out to the Rock a couple times, and I've caught some quality fish, but not 108 inches. I haven't done that in a while out there. It's been different. So, but yeah, it's been good. I'm excited for Rodman. Rodman's going to be able to produce some big fish, I hope, so we can get a new leader for the lunker, for the overall lunker. I think we can catch a 23.5 to 24 inch fish out there. Someone will, for sure. So,
if they don't, it'll happen at Tenor Rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially in that time of the year. There's a reason why it's in that month. Tenor Rock will produce a big fish for sure. That will knock it off. So, and if it don't, I'd be extremely surprised.
Well, there'll be 2 or 3 bags over 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that event.
I would have been over 100 inches on one fish or one animal at Tenor Rock on Sunday.
Man, I have a video of a gator out where I was fishing that literally would not leave me alone with my top water. It would come right up to my boat and just stare at me and would not leave. I had to smack the paddle a couple times. Those things are no joke out there. You definitely got to be careful because they are. There's a lot of them, and with this warm weather trend, it has really caused them to become reactive again, where they were pretty, docile and kind of out of the way. Now the hot weather has caused them to become a little bit more active than normal. So, especially out there.
I never
When
saw
it-
mine. I was fishing a crankbait out there, and it grabbed it and just bent and punched a hole in the bill, just destroyed it.
Mhm. Yeah, and David Meyer said, should we start a collection so you can buy a bicycle to replace your truck? Yeah, I would love for you guys to get a collection. I got to return my rental tomorrow, so we'll see if I get a truck. If I don't get a truck, I'm not going to be able to fish for a while. So we'll see.
Car top it.
Yep. It's a hard topic. I don't want to talk about it. I'm kind of upset about it. Robert, what's up, man? How did the KBF event go? I know Robert went up to South Carolina this past weekend and competed in the KBF event on Lake Murray. Yeah, there were some good numbers put up there too. I think like 98 inches. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he had a good fish on Sunday when we were fishing pretty early.
He says I suck. You don't. Suck. No, I think he had like a 20 inch. How much did that fish weigh, by the way? Yeah, that was a pretty decent fish up there. So it had to be at least 6-7 pounds. No live scope. Oh, hey, Sean got live scope now. So.
I did. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I know Stick Marsh has about 6 billion fish in it that don't want to bite, but
yeah, we went out to Stick Marsh on Sunday and we fished from sun up to sundown, and my bait of choice is on fire. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean the little ones were biting for Bailey, that's for sure. He was crushing them.
Yeah.
So,
all right, well,
it was a good time.
We got quite a bit of people on here watching now. So we'll do a quick rundown of what the schedule of events are for tonight, and then we'll let Todd kind of take it away and talk to our top 3 finishers for the Lake Okeechobee event, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper into the upcoming Rodman event. I got something that I need to go over with as far as Fishing Chaos goes. We'll talk about, because there are a couple anglers on here that are going to be participating in the KBF Ambassador Series Championship. So we'll go over a little bit of that, introduce the team on that regard. And then we'll talk about the Lake Apopka Open and what we're looking to do there. And then that's pretty much what we're going to cover tonight. So without further ado, I'll have Todd take it away and talk with John, Thomas, and Scott about the Lake Okeechobee event.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on board tonight and talking about this. I guess we'll start off, maybe go third, second, and then first. Just kind of go in the reverse order. And, we'll start off. You just kind of tell us a little, for some of us that don't know you guys, that may be new to the area or not, or new to the club, tell us a little bit about yourself, about how you kind of got into this kayak fishing, and then let's just kind of go into what you did on tournament day. That sound all right? So, Thomas, if you don't mind, take it away and tell us what you did, or tell us who you are and what you got going on.
So for those of you who have been members since the Sunshine State Trail was this before the FKBT, I've been a member of that. So I've been around. I think this is the 4th year that I've been fishing with this group. Originally from Pennsylvania, moved down to Florida. Been here about a decade, transplant. So been around a hot minute. It's been fun though.
Cool, awesome. So tell us about your day on the Okeechobee. Kind of, what end of the area of the lake that you put in, and kind of how your day went and what you were using, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, so I got a couple different spots in Okeechobee, and just watching the water and stuff, and taking a look at the weather. I kind of decided where I wanted to go. So I was going to launch out of off the west side, because the wind was originally supposed to be coming out of the west or the northwest. So I'm like, if we, the key to Okeechobee is finding clean water. And I figured, okay, if the wind is blowing this way, then I should have clean water on that side. Unfortunately, when I got there in the morning, the weather had changed and it was blowing into my face. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I made a really long run to a spot that I'd fished once before, but when I was there, it was beautiful. It was super clean water. There was eelgrass everywhere, and it was a big spot. So I knew that, unlike some of my other spots that are a little bit smaller, if the fish aren't there, because I didn't pre-fish, if they're not there, I got plenty of room to work around and see if I can find either some clean water or some structure that they're relating to. And I think I got about 4 or 5 miles out, and I realized, oh, this water is chocolate milk. So this isn't what I'm looking for. This is no good. And at that point, I was like, well, I can't go back and go to one of my other spots. I don't have time. I'd waste another 2-3 hours. So I'm like, all or nothing. We just kept going. And I just kept the motor pinned. I kept looking at the water until I finally found some cleanest water. And all of a sudden, there were like 90 boats around me. I'm like, okay, they probably know something that I don't. The water doesn't look great, but they're fishing. So I started throwing. And really, I don't think I had my first fish till around 9 or 9:30. There's so many I was watching the boaters, and they weren't catching anything. But I'm like, if they're here, that means the fish are here. I just have to not think like a boater. So what I ended up doing was finding this little cut that went up into this tiny pond that was maybe 20 by 20. And when I got in there, it looked like the boaters couldn't get in there because they'd have to go over like a wall of hyacinth. So I kind of went over the wall and I sat there and I saw some bait fish scatter. I'm like, okay, something's in here pushing them around. So I pulled out, started off with little swim bait, and I threw that out. And that was my first fish. First fish absolutely waked on it. And I wasn't any more than probably 30 yards from boats, but I was back in a cut where they couldn't get in. So I caught one fish and I switched up baits, moved over to a Senko, and then I had another one. And I pulled 4 fish out of this 20 by 20 hole, which was right next to where everybody's fishing, but boats couldn't get into it. I'm like, okay, I think I got them patterned. I think I've got an idea what to do. So that's what I started looking for, is any cut, anywhere that was thick where they couldn't get into, or stuff that was like really obvious, but you wouldn't think to fish it. Like just isolated one stalk of reed out in the middle of a flat.
Can I cut you off real quick? Do you think the boaters are pushing those fish back into those cuts?
So I didn't catch any big fish, and I think it's because a lot of boaters have probably pulled them out from previous tournaments. Maybe we had MLF there and some other weekend tournaments. I think a lot of them were probably pushed back up in there, because I was talking to a buddy from on Armando's fishing team. I was talking to him. I was like, hey, I don't think these fish are out. I think they're up in stuff to get away from the boats. That and the water level is higher. So the fish, obviously, if the water level is higher, the fish will explore, will push back, and they'll stay in that water column. So if 3 feet is back up in the reeds, that's where they're going to be. So I think that was part of it. So that's how I spent my day, was just trying to find stuff that boaters were either missing or couldn't get into. And it worked out pretty well. I just never found that big donkey that I needed.
Yeah. Man. Well, you had a great day. It paid off for you for sure.
Look, Okeechobee I like Okeechobee. I know how to fish that lake. We've had 4 tournaments with this group there. I've cashed a check every single time. Nice. So I like Okeechobee. So as long as Okeechobee's on the list, I will be there fishing it.
That was my first time ever seeing Okeechobee, and it was cool. I liked it. It's a cool lake.
It was the first time I went to Okeechobee and caught fish. I went one other time and I couldn't see my hand in front of my face, so it wasn't a great experience. But yeah, okay, that's awesome.
Me and Bailey fished together, and literally, as soon as we hit the water, first cast, bam!
I caught one. I caught the
they
first
were on
fish.
fire right off the bat. And
Yeah,
then we had boaters pull in and start throwing over my line and start catching my fish.
Yeah,
They pulled out a 3-pounder right in front across from Todd.
Yeah, the fish were not shy about eating, because once I got the first 4, I realized they're still going to eat. They're just not going to be in like easy accessed areas or places that people would like to fish. So I would watch where boaters were fishing, and I would just try to ignore it. I think my 5th fish, actually no, my first call fish, I saw a hole in the reeds, and he had to go through the reeds to get to it. So I just, packed up all my stuff real tight and then full steam paddled into it and sailed right in, stopped right on the edge. And I caught, I think it was, I forget how big. It was a nice fat fish, though, 15 or 16 out of that hole, because obviously boaters couldn't get in there.
Nice.
We fit the areas that we were fishing on the northwest corner. It got bombarded by boats, like 60 of them within, the first 2 hours, and that 2.5 hours of our tournament. We caught all of our fish. We could throw a pebble and hit our vehicles from where we fished the whole day and caught our fish. But it was, like you said, it was like up in these areas, those cut where the wind was pushing the water into, where we found a lot of our success. But again, they were dinks. I had a giant snap my pole I was talking to Rick Klun. Rick
Klun.
Klun. Me and him were talking. Right, he was on the point. I was having a casual conversation with him for like 20 minutes. I set the hook on this fish, start fighting, and it snaps my rod right at the base. And he was like, "Well," he's like, "that was a pretty big fish." And I was like, "Yeah, you wouldn't say." And we just started talking and having a good time. And Todd comes over, and is like, "You know who that was?" I was like, "He's like, was that Rick Klein?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure that was." But yeah, it was a good time getting to talk to him up there. But we couldn't catch it. It was hard for us to catch that get that big bite as well and land it. So
yeah, for sure.
Except for John, he's the only one that found them.
John found the big girls where they were releasing the big girls. That's
Hey,
get them
wherever you can.
That's what I figured is anywhere I'm fishing, because if they can easily access them, most of these fish here are going to be either leftover fish or fish that have been called out. So I just need one good one. I need some dude to have had like a 40-pound bag just to release 1 5-pounder that they didn't need, and I just couldn't find it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir, for sharing with us. We appreciate that. Well, let's move on
real
to
quick.
Scott.
Hey, Todd, real quick, if you want to shout out to your sponsors and stuff too here by chance, by all means, go ahead and give them a shout out as well.
Yeah. So one, I want to thank my wife who's putting the boys to bed right now for letting me do this. Surprised she hasn't killed me yet, but whatever. And I also want to thank Greg from mondosfishing.com. He's sponsoring the season. There's a couple of us that are on the team. Done a real good job. If you're looking for arc rods and reels, they've got the new gravity reels in, which they're good. If you take a look at those, go over to mondosfishing.com. It's a local mom pop Florida shop. If you're looking to support somebody local, check them out.
Awesome. Yeah, you Mondo guys have been killing it. That's all I'm gonna say.
You got the Mondo sticker on the end of your board?
I had to take it off because of Hobie, and I had just put it on the week prior. So I had when Hobie said you got to clean off your bump board and everything. So I was like, Greg, I got to peel this off. I need another one because Hobie's paying money, so I got to take it off. Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
He'll get you another one.
For sure. Well, Scott, you took second place. And so tell us a little bit about yourself and how your day went.
Been down here for 40 years. Learned how to bass fish out in Okeechobee. I didn't even start bass fishing until 2015. But always been in fishing out of a canoe or a kayak since like the 90s. As far as tournament day, I fished the north end and I pulled up to the ramp and I was the only one there. I started looking around. I'm like, is this the right day? I'm in the right place. But there was nobody there. And I'm like, okay. So I just fished the north end where I knew there was a lot of fish. There just wasn't a lot of big fish. And that I've been catching a lot of crappie in the area. So I knew that they were feeding on a crappie. So I figured that's a good starting point. And there's a lot of brush piles mixed in with the reeds. So I knew they were there, and I just beat the piss out of the whole area. I just went back and forth, and I wasn't looking for big fish. I was just looking for decent fish, and I found just enough. And typical story, if I would have got the ones that I lost, I don't know if I would have beat John, but I would have been up there close to it. So
you were up on the north. You said you were up on the north end, correct, Scott? Like the north end of the lake.
Yeah, Okeechobee Park there, the big ramp right there in town.
Yeah. You didn't have very many anglers around you, did you? Kayak anglers? I don't think there was any.
No, just me and Woody. Woody
Yeah.
was the only guy that I saw out there. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what was you throwing all day, Scott? I think if I'm not mistaken, at the check-in, you were saying spinnerbait?
Spinnerbait all day.
Nice.
I threw a worm. I threw a topwater. I threw a square bill. I got small fish on all of them, but for the most part, I just stuck with the spinnerbait and a little shad tail trailer. Same thing I used at Fellsmere.
I was about to ask
They
you,
like
what did
it.
you win? What did you use at Fellsmere?
Same thing. White and gold spinnerbait.
Yep.
Nice.
When it's windy like that in Florida, that bait, that's a killer.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite brand that you like to use, or?
The brand I've been using is War Eagle. I was using like the Bass Pro ones, and the arms kept breaking and the blades kept falling off. So I put a question out on KBF, who makes a good spinnerbait, and I got a lot of feedback from War Eagle, and so they're built solid and they hold together. I mean, I've even had them withstand mudfish. So if you've caught mudfish, you'll know that they'll tear the crap out of anything you hook on them. So
Yep, they sure will.
Yeah,
they sure will. What company was it? It's that's with That's with Torrent. They're the Thresher, not the that makes that spinnerbait. We had a Thunder Rocket.
Thunder Rocket.
okay.
Yeah, you need to take a look into the Thunder Rocket. They just came out with 3 new spinnerbaits. Check them out. It's a new style spinnerbait with the blades. It's like it's like a smaller like fish, but it has like a clicker in there, so it makes a noise.
Yeah.
Too whenever it rotates in the water. So
Pretty cool.
I was at Fellsmere yesterday, and I was throwing the Torrent, those stick baits you gave me.
Oh,
Yep, the strikers.
Yeah. The 6.0, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was catching fish on it. It just, so far nothing big, but I was throwing it just so I could get a good pick, get a good one.
Yeah.
And show some love to our sponsors, So
yeah, you guys do that. And the timber crawl is fantastic on a chatterbait. I caught a couple on the timber crawl, but the little 4.0, I was throwing my bait on. I was throwing the fluke on stick marsh. I should have been throwing the 4.0 out there, and I think they would have wrecked the 4.0. I was just throwing a fluke up against the sticks and was destroying them. So, but yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they're catching fish. So that's what they want to know. They want to know what the fish are biting and how well their baits are, and even if they're withstanding the bites down here too. Like let us know what the durability is, so we can take that information and give it back to them to let them do product innovation and stuff.
One thing I noticed about the 6 inches, it doesn't sink as fast as like a speed worm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a slower descent, which I think, when fish aren't as aggressive, they might pick that up a little faster or hit it a little better than it would, something that's moving a little faster. So,
they don't
use salt. Yeah, they don't have salt in them.
Okay, so salt makes them a little more dense, so they sink faster, right?
They sink faster. Yes.
Yep.
And the reason why is so that tail can stick up and wiggle a little bit.
Yeah. That stinger is intense. Yeah.
Speaking of on the spinner baits, the little Thresher, the 4.2, it works really good as a spinner bait trailer as well.
Yep.
Those are pretty cool. So
yeah, we're gonna.
Awesome.
I'm placing another order for more of their product because we gave all of it away at the last at the Okeechobee post tournament event, post tournament award ceremony. So I'm placing another order tomorrow for some more product so that we can. That's product that we as a club buy, so we can support our sponsors as well since they support us. So we'll have some that we'll be able to hand out again at the post event meetup, so you guys can get those products in your hand, use them, take pictures with them, and then hopefully they're good enough for you guys to put back into your bag and purchase them that way. So that's the whole thought process behind it. You use it, you post that it's catching fish. Other people are going to use it if they see you guys catching giants. I can tell you that right now. So you guys do that. Yeah. They're good. I love them. I love the timber crawl as a chatterbait trailer. And then for the stick bait, I've been using the Striker 6.02. So, and I'm going to start using the Thresher as a form of my fluke and see how well that can do. So,
the Striker is on point behind a chatterbait. It looks good. That's what I've been using it as.
Well, I will tell you, I heard from another person back in Nashville. Torrent is out of Nashville, where I moved here from. And so they were, one of the other guys that I know was talking to John, who's the owner of Torrent. And he said that the Florida crew has really been supporting him a lot, that they really picked up a lot in this market and was very, very grateful. So thank you everyone that has supported our sponsors. And that's really huge because, the more we support them, the more they're going to support us for sure.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Exactly. And they're great people. They have a great company and they stand by their product. And I don't have anything negative to say about the product. It catches fish. And that's what we're in the business to do, is catching fish so we can win some money.
Yeah. And when they're good people back in it's a great thing too.
Yeah.
So,
John is an amazing person. And he's doing a lot. If you don't follow him on the Facebook page, his up in the colder water, those things are those soft plastics are dangerous. He just bought a farm and he has a pond in his backyard. He's been catching absolute giants on the Thresher out of his lake in his back of his house. So it's pretty cool.
Well, there's a guide service up there in Nashville that he's partnered with or sponsors them. They use it a lot, and I mean, had been just killing big largemouth and big smallmouth on them.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, and Thunder Rocket is also affiliated with them as well. They work hand in hand together. So it's they both kind of sell those products.
So Scott, to wrap it up, do you have anybody you would like to thank?
I have no sponsors. I got nobody. So I'm not.
Not yet. You don't, Scott.
I'll take offers. So
you're like me. Thank yourself.
Yeah.
I thank myself for
thank
supporting
your wife.
me
You better
this.
thank your wife so you can keep going through and do fishing on the weekend.
Don't have one of those either.
Oh, you don't have a wife? Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean that in a bad way. I just assumed. So there I go, assuming.
No wife, no girlfriend,
That's why
no
you
kids,
can
no
fish
worries.
all the time, Scott. That's why you can fish all the time. That's why you're winning these events.
Yeah.
So
The thing,
y'all need to knock.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, this is the second one that I've led all day. And I was like, I know somebody's going to come up behind me and get me. And sure enough, John got on a roll and he just rolled right past me. And I'm like, dang it, I knew somebody was going to do it. But,
and that right there is a great segue into Mr. John. So,
how are
John,
you?
Man, the big man on campus right here for the Okeechobee. So tell us a little bit about yourself, John, and tell us how you got it done.
Everybody, I mean, I've only been down in Florida for about 3 years. About 3 years now down here. I'm originally from northern Indiana. I was into the boat tournaments and stuff like that, and then started kayak fishing, and just I really liked it. I went from a co-angler, and I had a nitro, got rid of all that, and started kayak fishing, and and so be it. Moved down here, struggled a lot when I first moved down here because I'm used to catching, big smallmouth up north, and I use 8, 10, 12 pound fluorocarbon, and I'm throwing Ned rigs and tubes and stuff like that. And I met Doug Wilson at Tenor Rock one day, and he kind of gave me some info, and we met up quite a few times, and he's taught me quite a bit about punching and flipping and stuff like that, and the size of the line, the stuff to use. And I just kind of took it and ran with it, practice. So as far as Okeechobee, I have fished Okeechobee a couple of times. No, stay down. Normally, I mean, like the other club, I think I was in the top 6 or 7 every time. Never really cashed a check. And when we had our tournament, when I first started, I had 2 areas in mind. One I had fished before because I fished it when I was in the Toyota series for the FLW. I was going to fish that. And when I got there, the water was really dirty. So I kind of aborted that whole plan because that water was so dirty. And I made a run. I mean, I had to go slow because I really can't see nothing. I didn't know where I was going. I was just looking at my map. And I went for about 2 hours and I found this little cut that I kind of was looking for. I had talked to Conrad about it because me and Conrad we know about that same area. He said he wasn't going to go there. So I kind of made the run and went all the way there. And I got back there and it was not a small area. But I was the first one back there and I caught 2 relatively quick. On a Cinco. They weren't no monsters or nothing.
Was it the pink Cinco?
Yeah, it was. That color for me right now, this time of the year, is just, I mean, it just works phenomenal for me. I've caught a 9.4 and a 9.6 off of them. I caught a couple 5-pounders last weekend. But I caught them too, and it was a little while before I got another bite, but I had like 3 boaters come in behind me, and there was 2 kayak guys that came in there too. I don't like fishing waters that are crowded like that. That's just not the type of fisherman I am. So I went about my business and went and found some other areas, and I ended up picking up another one on a fluke. But then I went and I didn't catch one for a long time. And I figured I'm going to run back over by the boat ramp, past the boat ramp. There's a little cut that I know of that I've caught a couple out of. So I made a long run. I just upgraded my battery to 100 amp. Probably one of the best decisions I ever made. Because I went past
one too, right?
Oh, yeah. I think it was about an hour and a half, maybe hour and 45-minute run. I get back there. And there's 2 crappie boats back there. Ain't no room for me. I was like, man. So I looked at the clock. I was like, it was like 12:30. I said, man, if I make the run, go back to where I had clean water, I'd get back there about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Maybe I'll get lucky. Made the run. Got back there. I seen some bait fish flicker, and I grabbed my my whopper popper, and I threw it over there, and it just like disappeared. So I kind of pulled back and I'm like, okay, here we go. This is a good one. Well, when I netted it, I didn't see the other one behind it. So I had 2. It was like a 14.25 and like a 13.5 or something. My number 4 and 5. I was like, oh, sweet. So I fished for a little while, didn't get another bite. And I'm so used to fishing boat tournaments where you have to be back at the boat ramp at a certain time. That's just drilled into me. That's just who I am. So I went all the way back to the boat ramp, and they had this big tournament going on, and they were releasing fish over by the dock. Well, I went to the other side because up north, we can catch smallmouth that way because they're so aggressive. We call them retreads. I mean, after like a multi-day tournament, I've seen guys go over there and just whack them and catch 20 pounds, just that fast. I've never really done it that way, but I was like, well, why not? So I get over there, I throw over there with my Cinco, and the first fish I catch was like 20, I think 20.25. I'm like, okay. Get him on the board real fast, and I take my picture and let him go. The same spot. Caught a 16.25 or something. Put him on the board, and I looked at now I look at the thing because I just caught some, 2 big upgrades. I was like right behind Thomas. I'm like, man, if I get lucky enough, I got to upgrade. What do I got to upgrade? And I threw my Cinco out there, and laid my rod down, and I was looking on my phone, and I seen it. I was still behind, and I had like 12 minutes left. So I hung up the phone, put it under there, and I lifted up, and it got heavy. I set the hook, and it was that 21 3/4, something like that. And I got him in, took a picture, and I took a 5-inch lead, and I left. I was going back. I was going to my truck. I seen Sean. I said, "Man, did you see that?" He's like, "No, what happened?" I said, "Dude, I just caught 3 big ones in like 15 minutes." He said, "In that weed patch right there by the boat ramp?" I said, "Yeah."
That's where Sean was going back to go fish, and you took his fish.
Yeah. I told these guys, I was like, you know what? I should have stayed at the boat ramp. I thought about it. I was like, I should start my morning off right at the boat ramp. Just punch those mats that are there. They always hold fish. They always hold 1 or 2 good ones.
I've always caught 1 or 2 good ones right there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not even gonna mess with it. There's too much traffic going in and out of here. I just took off and went to my starting spot like 3 miles away. But obviously, it paid off for you. So.
I'm telling you right now. I'm going to tell you right now, Sean. This one thing Sean is very good at. Sean will be like, "Hey man, when you're pre-fishing, go over to this spot, man. There's always fish there. I always catch fish there." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go there and not catch anything." And then we'll ask the person who won the event, "Hey, where'd you fish?" "Oh, I fished this little patch of lily pads or whatever by the boat." And I'm like, that is exactly where Sean had said to go fish. And I don't know why he don't go fish these spots that he knows fish are at, but people end up winning. Where Sean was like, "Hey, you should probably go fish over there."
Yeah, it's just bad luck for me. Like the last few events, like what was it, Toho, Okeechobee? I literally told Bailey about those 2 spots, and I was just like, I never went to them. And then they're catching. What do you catch? Like a 23.5? Or what?
He
What
caught
do you
like
get?
almost an 8-pounder or whatever.
Yeah,
that
that football right at the boat
at
ramp.
Toho. Yeah, at Toho.
Yeah, Granada.
Yeah. So John, you said fluke and Cinco, and then Chapo, right? Those are your majority of the baits that you used on Okeechobee.
Yeah, the fluke, yep, the Cinco, and then the Whopper Plopper, yep.
Nice.
My baits of choice, and I couldn't even catch a limit.
Oh, I can't. I mean, I have known. I mean, I throw a Whopper Plopper. I mean, all year round down here.
Same, I do too.
I mean,
I always got one tied on.
The Chapo.
Always.
The Chapo.
And that's just like my chatterbait. You know, I always have a chatterbait tied on. Sometimes I got 2 because I've got one on 65-pound braid, and then I got another one on like 20-pound fluorocarbon or something. But because I throw them things in some nasty. Oh yeah, those 2. I throw them chatterbaits up in some really nasty stuff. I mean, I've had to bend the hooks out. I went through 2 or 3 chatterbaits in one day.
Yeah, you fish that thing violently. I can tell you that. That's for sure. Hey,
I do.
It catches big fish.
It does, and I mean, I've thrown up over 100 inches at Tender Rock many days just throwing my chatterbait.
Yeah, it's dangerous. And you said it is with a skirt. It's skirtless, right?
It's pink.
You ain't gonna tell us. Come on now.
No, I throw 2 at Tender Rock. One's a green pumpkin and one's the golden shiner. Everybody knows about the golden shiner one. But that day at Tender Rock, I got 109.75. I mean, I hit the school on the head, you know, and there days like that don't happen very often. I can tell you that.
Yeah. No, it's far and few in between, for sure. You'll have days out there where you can catch a 23.5 and a 22 on the same jerk bait. So, yep. I've done it. Yep, it's been that was probably one of the most that's probably one of the best catches I've had so far last year. Last year was that. But Tender Rock, I'm excited for that event. I know you'll be out there, John. Hopefully we see you, Thomas, and Scott out there at Tender Rock. We're going to be reserving the picnic lake, the pavilions out there. So that's where we're going to be having the post-event and award ceremony is going to be on the picnic pavilion area. So we'll be able to do hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff out there as well. So we're looking forward to Tender Rock because that's going to be that is going to be a showdown for sure, because there's a lot of folks that fish it, know those lakes, know those waters, and that time of the year. I think that's around the bluegill spawn out there too. The bluegills are pretty thick out there around that time, so it's going to be it'll be a fun time for sure. So, and I think we have Greg on here that has said congrats to you guys. Way to represent Team Mondo Fishing. John won it this time. Then we had Thomas that was in third, and then Conrad's on there as well. Correct? He took home the Toho event and the first event. So you guys are representing Team Mondo Fishing well. So congrats on that. And then we have a John that dropped a comment in here. Hey guys, friends of Todd from Tennessee. If you see him catch a big and in a tournament, tell him to make sure to take pics of it on the board first. That's a story. Todd lost his PB before taking a picture on a board because he was trying to get a selfie with it.
Shook out of my hands. You live and you learn, boys. But I still won that tournament, though. I still won. I still got.
Who did you beat in that tournament?
I actually beat Russ Snyder's was one, and another stick, which was Ernest, Michael Ernest. Both of those guys are big sticks. And I just got lucky. It was perseverance. I didn't let losing that big one get me down. And, you just push through, and I'm like, I'm going to catch them. And I did. I got lucky. So it's all luck. It's all luck for me.
Most definitely. We appreciate you guys coming on, John. If you want, you can thank some of the sponsors that you guys have that you have as well, and then we'll kind of wrap up this and move on to the next segment.
Mondo's Fishing. I'm one of the guys that's on their team. I can't say anything bad about them. I mean, they've got what I need, and if you guys need anything, get a hold of him. I mean, if he ain't got it, he'll get it. I mean, that's the type of guy he is. Biz Baits, because got to have my pink Cincos. So, but that's about it. My wife, she's always rooting for me. She's always watching me. So, yeah.
That's a good thing.
Well, awesome. We appreciate you guys coming on. Todd, I appreciate you taking charge and doing those interviews. You guys are awesome. We appreciate your guys' support. I know your sponsors appreciate everything that you guys do for them. We appreciate how you guys represent the club and what you guys do for the sport, or for kayak fishing and the sport that it is. We have quite a few events left for this year. We need some of you guys to knock off Conrad, right? It's going to be tough. We can't let him win that third event, right? So you guys got to fish hard, be competitive, knock him off his game, because it's going to be hard. That guy's a stick. He's a great angler, and right now he's sitting at the top of AOI. So it's going to be a good, fun rest of the year. A lot of big fish are left to be caught. So we appreciate everything you guys do and continue to do for us for sure. So thank you guys for coming on.
Yep, no worries.
Glad to be here, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. If you guys want, you guys can stay on, or we'll pull you guys out of the show and you guys can go spend time with your families. But we're going to just kind of talk about the upcoming events and what's coming on, what's in the future for the club. So we'll talk to you guys later, and we'll see you guys hopefully out at Rodman on March 11th.
Congrats, Vince.
Congrats,
Night, all.
guys.
Night, guys.
Thank y'all.
I don't know how. Can we pull him out?
Yeah.
Okay. There he
I'll
is.
take care of it.
All right.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Awesome. Sorry, Scott. But yeah, no, that was awesome. Those are great individuals. We're glad to have them in the club. We're gonna have John, and John is gonna be one of the anglers that's gonna be going up to the KBF Ambassador Series Championship in March to represent our club. Him, Lloyd. It's gonna be Robert Phillips, and then Dave is actually John's little brother is going to be going up there too, and representing us at the championship. So hopefully they bring home a big check in first place. So represent Florida proud up in Alabama. So that's going to be March 11th, or no, not March 11th. It's March. Oh Lord, I forgot the date. Let me check real quick. I think it's March 18th. I think it's the 18th of March. I'll double check that though. That doesn't really matter. They're going out there and hanging out, or they're going out and representing us, so we appreciate that. Real quick, before we get started into the Rodman and Apopka event, we're gonna talk. Oh, it's the 18th. Yeah, I appreciate that, John. So March 18th, they're gonna be going up and representing our club. But we're gonna talk about Fishing Chaos. So Sean, if you want, real quick, if you could pull up or share the screen for Fishing Chaos. We're going to go over a couple things, right? Some angler responsibilities as far as fish submissions and making sure that you guys understand what is at your fingertips when you guys are submitting fish onto Fishing Chaos, just to kind of eliminate some confusion and headache. Because again, remember the deadline for submissions for fish and or challenging denied fish is 4:30, right? After that, those fish become official, and it makes adding fish to that leaderboard extremely difficult, and we have to it causes a lot of headaches and trouble for Fishing Chaos. That's not something we can do as tournament directors. That is strictly on Fishing Chaos. And again, we're just going to enforce that 4:30 submission roll, and I'm going to show you guys how you guys can view your entries real quick. So when you guys are this is for Fellsmere and Stickmarsh. We can't do it for Rodman because the tournament isn't open yet, and no one has submitted any fish. But if you look, it's the same thing. It'll be the same thing for Rodman. This picture you're looking at right now is the tournament homepage. You're going to see a tournament dashboard down at the bottom. Sean, if you will click that, you're going to see this right here. Sean was entered in big bass and black bass, right? So in the top of that, you're going to see leaderboards. That right there is the 2 leaderboards that Sean is associated with. So if you would please just click on black bass for me. Click on it right there. You're going to see these are the fish that were submitted on Fishing Chaos. So the contributing entries, you're going to see there a 16 3/4, 16, a 15 3/4, and a 14 3/4. Those are some contributing entries. If you go over to the next call, those are fish that you have submitted on Fishing Chaos, right? If they are official, you will see a green official banner on top of those. If you go to cold entries, he doesn't have any cold entries because he didn't catch more than 5 fish. So your 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th fish that you catch that are your lowest ranking fish, that's where those will be. Denied entries, that's where if any fish that you submitted got denied, that fish will be there and the reasoning why that fish was denied. Right there will be a map. It will show you the map of where those fish were caught. Info is obviously the information that's associated with your angler. That is where you go. So you go to tournament dashboard. There you go. Entries. It will show which entries are official. It'll be a green official icon banner, and if it's denied or challenged, it will be a yellow banner, and it'll say denied or challenged. Right? So it is your responsibilities as anglers to make sure during the tournament and up to 4:30 p.m. up until 4:30 p.m. the day of the tournament, to check those leaderboards and make sure that all your fish have been submitted before that 4:30 timeline. And for you to reach out to the judges in the event that one of your fishes were denied, so that can be corrected before the leaderboard becomes official. We say that just because we want the time that you spend out there in the fish that you catch to count towards your total inches. So yes, again, just those are the rules. We're going to stick to them. But if we give leeway to one, we'll have to give leeway to all. So it's just best for us to stay consistent. If that upsets you, I'm extremely sorry. But we have those rules in place because it makes Fishing Chaos's job a lot harder to do that. And if we just follow the simple rules, and if you do have issues with submitting fish, again, let us know before 4:30, and we can get fixed before those submissions become official. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, I know KBF. If you're in any KBF event, if you go to their tournament dashboard, it'll show Fishing Chaos tutorials. There are videos on there that show you how to do certain things within Fishing Chaos. Can you go back up and pull Fishing Chaos up for me again, Sean? There's one more thing I want to show.
And
if you have any
also,
questions, please drop those in the comment below.
Also to note,
Go ahead,
Bailey,
Tim.
is that Fishing Chaos will send you a notification that that fish has been submitted, you know, that you've got
Yes.
one out there. So that way you know that the fish that it went through, because I know on Fellsmere I had some issues with them going through because of cell service.
Yes.
So if you don't get a notification, you need to double check your entries just to make
Yes.
sure that they did go in.
And that's a good point, Todd. Make sure that you guys have your notifications turned on, because again, us as tournament directors, Sean, myself, and Todd, we will send out notifications, mass messages through Fishing Chaos that are tournament specific stuff. If you guys don't have that turned on, you're missing out on that information. It could that could interfere with some of the things that are going on. Can you go back, Sean?
Yeah. Where do you need to go?
Yeah, just go back to the main screen, the tournament main screen. Cool. So you're going to show up here. So show details. If you click on show details for us, you click that icon for show details and scroll down. Keep scrolling down. Or no, show description. I'm sorry. Show description. My bad. If you scroll down now, you're going to see all the important tournament information. Entry fee, big bass entry fee, the waiver, where you need to send it to. And I know for future events, there's a lot more information in those now. There's going to be that if you hit show descriptions, it's going to show you the boundaries, the available launches, locations, all of that stuff. It's not necessarily in Fellsmere because we didn't have it set up that way yet, but for all of our tournaments from then on, have a lot more information in there that pertains to that specific tournament, as far as like meetup locations, all of that good stuff. We wrote it out just so for you guys to have it on multiple platforms. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns on how to delete entries and add entries to on Fishing Chaos, please reach out to us, and we can walk you through that process. But we haven't had very many issues with it by all means. I just felt like it was something that we can address so that it doesn't become an issue for you in our tournaments, but also for you in tournaments where there's a lot more money at stake with Hobie, or well, Hobie uses Tourney X, but with all the KBF events, I know they use Fishing Chaos. I would hate for you guys to lose out on a spot where you cash a check just because not knowing that where to find and make sure that your fish were all your fish were submitted. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to bring that up. Also, one thing I would like to bring up is sportsmanship out on the water. Be mindful of the individuals that you are around. Make sure that you guys are being good stewards and good sportsmen when you are out there, understanding the rules of engagement as far as like the fishing in the vicinity of others, and not impeding or interfering with other anglers as well. I feel like I don't think we've had any issues with that per se, but on smaller bodies of water that we'll be fishing, that could be something that could be brought up in the future. So just make sure that you guys read and understand the rules, and making sure that you're abiding by those, or just communicating with the anglers around you. You heard John Fox say it earlier, that he called Comrade and made sure, hey, that this is where I plan on going. This isn't somewhere you plan to fish ahead of time or fish or later on in the day, right? So having that open communication with those anglers is important, just so that we're not interfering or interrupting what we're doing on the water. If you have a plan, and like for me and Todd, we went out fishing. We were within 100 yards of one another pretty much all day. But we communicated with one another and said, hey, this is where I'm going to be. He's like, hey, that's where I'm going to be. Great. And we just worked around one another all day. That's completely fine. there's
Yeah,
nothing.
but he got
wrong.
in my way, and I kind of bumped him a couple of times to get out of
Yeah,
my
you
spot.
He did. He threatened me. He's like, if you don't get out of my spot, I'm going to put a hole in your kayak. And yeah, I caught all his fish though. That's all that matters. So
That's it.
he caught the pleco.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really wanted to address as far as Fishing Chaos goes. Again, I think we only have 4 people signed up for the Rodman event as of right now. You're starting to scare me out there. Can you guys please drop a comment on our Facebook page and give us a thumbs up if you plan on participating in that event, so that me and Sean and Todd, when we go purchase hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff, we don't over purchase and waste a lot of food. Because we bought pizzas last time and we only had 2 pizzas eaten and we had 5 that we bought. So we had a lot of wastes. So drop a comment below and we will we'll take an account whenever we go in and buy that stuff based on that response on the Facebook post and the registrations. So, but Sean, I'll let you go ahead and kind of jump into Rodman again.
Yeah, I was just going to highlight this real quick. So this is all Rodman Reservoir and all the way down to the river. And we'll start here. Got a highlighted Eureka West Recreational Area boat ramp. That's in play. And all these boat ramps that we're about to go over, there's 4 of them. If you launch at that boat ramp and you don't cross underneath the road, you're in eligible water. If you cross underneath the road, that's a boundary line. So just to keep it as simple as possible. So we got Eureka West Recreation Area boat ramp down here to the south. There's a boundary right there. Going north up the river, we got Hog Valley Public Boat Ramp on the east side. It's also named something Ferry Landing. I'd have to look it up real quick, but Hog Valley
Ferry
Public
Road
Boat
Landing.
Yeah, Ferry Road Landing. And then on the west side of this little river portion, you got Orange Springs Public Boat Ramp. And then up here on the north side of the lake, right in the north central portion, we got Kenwood Recreation Area Main Boat Ramp, which is the largest boat ramp. And this is all on FWC Boat Ramp Finder. And if you look at this, you can go down through here and identify hours, 24 hours. And it says they have 35 trailer and 6 parking spots. If you look on Google Earth and you zoom on there, there's probably like 70 boat trailers sitting in the parking lot. So that's probably your biggest boat ramp that's going to allow the most access. Hog Valley, I believe I don't want to tell you the wrong number. So 24 hours. It says 8 trailer parking spots and no data on vehicle parking spots. I'm assuming Bailey was there right the other day, so I'm sure he can brief you more specifically on that.
It is not big at all. And there was a ton of like Shiner boat angler or boats there that had put in. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was very little parking. There, like, I had to park up the gravel road on the side of the road, like just off the gravel road, kind of like in somewhat of a ditch. And I was fine, but there was only like seven or 8 spots, and I took and there wasn't a spot for me. I had to park on the side of a ditch.
Yeah, so if you plan on going there, just show up early and debo all the parking spots.
Yeah, there's no lights, there's no nothing, so it's not lit up. So be careful out there. There are snakes. I came across like 6 or 7 water snakes just in and around that area. So be careful with that. For real, with there not being any lights out there and it being warmer, the snakes are pretty active when I was out there. I got videos of one as well, so just be careful.
Ain't nobody scared of snakes. All right, we got Orange Springs Public Boat Ramp, 12 trailer spots, 6 vehicle spots, a little bit larger. And it is also 24 hours a day. Then we got Eureka West, open for business 24 hours a day, 3 trailer spots, 2 vehicle spots. So also a boat ramp you need to get to early. All right, post-tournament link-up location. We're going to zoom in right here. So if you got Hog Valley Public Ramp over here, just east, about 1.3 miles away. This is the KOA site. This is where we're planning on doing post-tournament link-up. Myself, Todd, Chris, Bailey, and I believe Chris Mitchell is also staying with us. We're all going to be staying there. I'm going to call the KOA this week. I called them on Saturday or Sunday and didn't answer. But I'm going to call them, make sure it's all right.
You're
All the boat
broken
ramps
up.
are within 30. Let me stop sharing this. That's probably why I'm sucking up a lot of data. You got me
Yeah,
there now?
you're good. Yeah, we're good now.
So we're going to be at the Fort McCoy, Lake Oklawaka, or whatever it is. Terrible at pronunciation on that lake. Is going to be the Fort McCoy KOA site is the post-tournament link up right now. Shouldn't be an issue with holding there. Like Chris said, we're gonna get some hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff and have the grill fired up after the tournament. Like I was saying, driving distance from all the boat ramps all within 30 minutes. According to Google,
it's not far. It's not far, and there's not much traffic on those roads at all. It's in the middle of nowhere. So
yeah, if you guys haven't been out there before, just don't use Apple Maps. I prefer to use Google Maps because Apple Maps will take you on some dirt road that's Cletus is going to take you and you're going to disappear. So
yeah,
How is
there
the cell
and
service
just
there?
an FYI, the cell service is fine.
I didn't have an
make,
issue.
Make sure that you grab if you got to stop at a gas station and you're one of those that needs to get snacks and stuff or whatever at a gas station, make sure you do that as soon as you get off the interstate, because once you get in and around that area, from where I went to my boat ramp, there was no gas station.
There's if you go to the Rodman State Park, right down the road from Rodman State Park over on the east side of the lake, there's the closest thing is a gas station. I think it's like a Kangaroo, so it's not too far away. But that's the closest gas station. Last time I stayed up there for about a week, and that's where I got all my snacks and stuff. I don't think I was very welcome in that area. I hear banjos. Yeah, for sure, Scott. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't never seen so many people swimming in a freshwater reservoir where I seen gators bigger than my kayak. I drive by and I kid you not, there is a dad, a son, and a dog swimming out in the middle of Rodman.
Yeah, you're going to see it at Orange Lake too.
I'm
the
like,
finest
what
locality.
Are these people? I'm like, what are these people doing? I'm like, do they not understand that they will become bait? And that water out there right now is super clear too, by the way. So you guys aren't gonna. I don't think I ran into any dirty water. Really, I really didn't. It was dead calm out there, but
yeah, bring some spare props if you have them.
Yeah, water. Yes, water visibility is extremely good. You can see down to the bottom. Lot of vegetation, a lot of timber, a lot of timber, and a lot of grass too. So, yeah, it can and it probably will produce someone's personal best this weekend, based off of conversations that I had with the locals that fish it pretty regularly. There's a lot of really good fish being caught out of there. You just got to be at the right place at the right time. Unfortunately, they are not guaranteed, but right now there's a lot of good fish being caught. So, and there's not very many tournaments. I think Bass Nation.
Yeah, they have theirs this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
Yeah.
So Bass Nation for the North Division. So that would be Will Gresham's division. I'm pretty sure it's this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I know that there's one Bass Nation event on, I think it's the 11th. No, that's our event. I think it's, I don't know. We'll have to figure out when it is. I know Bass Nation is up on Rodman for the Northeast Division. And I know the Southeast Division or the South Division is doing theirs on Lake Okeechobee too, the same day. So I know there's some events that are going up. Ours is going to be March 11th. But other than that, I didn't see a lot of boats out there this weekend when I went out and pre-fished either. So other than fishing for shiners and crappie, there are a lot of crappie boats out there fishing.
Yeah, March 4th this weekend.
Yep, March 4th.
Yeah, yep. So they will be out there. If you guys wanted to pre-fish and have an opportunity to possibly cash a check, just go fish the Bass Nation and then show them some support. Will Gresham, he's a member of our club as well. I believe he's the tournament director up there for Bass Nation. It could be an opportunity for you to pre-fish and then, possibly cash a check too. So, yeah, that would be an opportunity. And I know we'll be the following week. So hopefully we catch some fish. So, but yeah, that is Rodman. If you guys have any questions, registration is open. Please, 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 please register. Drop a comment below and let us know if you guys are planning on fishing the event and is just signing up later so we can prepare accordingly. And now for Lake Apopka, registration for that is open. Please, please, please spread that word. We need max participation at Lake Apopka, right? We want folks and anglers that aren't members of our club to come out there and to participate. This is going to be as successful as we make it as members and as the admin side of it. We're trying to promote it as much as possible, but there's only so much we can do. Word of mouth from you guys, sharing it with your friends, getting them involved, and getting them out there and fishing is only going to grow our club and grow the sport. And that's what the whole point of this open is. And we're going to have Van Hunks out there. We're going to have some of our sponsors out there as well. So that kind of gets them the, what's the word I'm looking for? Gets them out the exposure to our club, to our members, to our anglers, and to non-members, and hopefully helping them, right? Because Van Hunks is doing a lot for us this year as giving us a kayak and other things as well that they plan on doing. Show them some support, some love, and ultimately have a good time. Go out there, fish, hang out, talk, fellowship, and then eat some food and give away some prizes. That's our goal for Lake Apopka. It's a really good fishery as well. There's a lot of big gators in there, but they just dumped a ton of bass into that lake. I think over 1 million bass were released into there as a project. So it's a big lake. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a really good time, but we're going to have a really good time following the event too, and getting to hang out and meet with you guys. So hopefully we'd love to see you guys out there. One thing I do want to mention is t-shirt orders for Florida Kayak Bass Trail. Todd and I and Sean have left the pre-orders open for them. We are going to close pre-orders on Thursday, and then the order is going to be submitted this Friday for t-shirts. Our goal is to have t-shirts at the Lake Apopka event to be able to hand out and distribute to you guys. And then if not, if you guys would like the shirt to be mailed to you, we will have to send you there's going to be a fee for that, but we won't know that until Todd will get back to me, and then we'll post that on the Facebook page. If you can't make Lake Apopka, but you want your shirt and or hat, we will send you a message letting you know how much the postage will cost, and we will mail that stuff out to you, no problem. But yes, our pre-orders for shirts are going to end this Thursday. You can look on Facebook on the members only page. I reposted that link. So just please drop in the comment section what color, what size, and quantity that you want, and then PayPal me the money at Florida Kayak Bass Trail at yahoo.com, and we'll make sure we get it ordered and shipped out to you. And then kayak cushions did come in as well. They came in last week. They will be at Rodman, and then they will also be at Lake Apopka. Again, same thing goes into effect. If you want them shipped out to you, that's fine. However, I will have to reach out to you, and I will figure out how much that postage will be. And then again, I just ask that you guys send me that, so that'll help cover the postage, because that's not cheap, and that would have to come out of my personal pocket. And I can't do that right now. So I just ask for you guys, if y'all want that, I'll let you guys know how much that postage would cost, and I'll be more than happy to send it out to you. But yeah, that's all I have as far as like club stuff goes. Sean or Todd, do you guys have anything you'd like to add before we end it? Because we're right at 1:10.
Yeah, the next live we'll have is going to be, I don't think we're planning on going live on Tuesday, so we'll go live on Thursday for the captain's meeting. I think that's about it.
Yeah. Captain's meeting will be Thursday. Deadline for registration is going to be Friday at 8 p.m. So make sure you get registered for the Rodman event before then, and make sure that you show up and are present for the mandatory captain's meeting Thursday at 8 p.m. on Facebook, where we're at right now. And then Todd, you got anything you'd like to add there, sir? He's a proud new Hobie owner too. So
Yeah, I
hopefully you
just
catch
got to
some
get it
Hobie.
all squared away and ready for the tournament. We got a lot of little rigging to do on it, so
Yeah.
fun. I'm excited to try that bad boy out.
I'm looking forward to Rodman. I'll be out there Saturday, so if you guys are wanting to pre-fish a little bit on Saturday, I'll be out there. I will bring the kayak cushions and the hats with me in case you guys are out there, and I'll give it to you then, or I'll link up with you at some point so that those can be issued out to you guys. I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, just shoot me a message on Facebook or text me if you have my phone number, and I'll make sure to get that in your hands ASAP. I did purchase extra covers, FKBT custom covers for your kayak cushion. So if you already have a kayak cushion and it might be ripped or something torn on it, I do have an FKBT cover that I'm selling for $45. If you guys want that or you're interested in one of those, shoot me a private message, and I'll get that to you as well as soon as possible. But again, yeah, $45 for a black and gray FKBT custom cover. It fits perfectly on any cushion that you have previously. I had one that I replaced from a kayak cushion I bought a year or two ago, and it fits perfectly, no questions asked. And now I have pretty much a brand new kayak cushion for $45. So that is also out there. They're limited. So I think there's around 10 of them available. If you guys would like that, send me a message. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Peace out.
Tight lines, my dudes.